The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com. The 2015 Wadena Grand Slam. Bo Lockwood Motorsports and the 2015 Keystone Nationals. Scioppa Racing and ScioppaRacing.com. Ultimate Derby and Blizzard Bash 2015. Demo Derby Master. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel at RecklessAbandonGear.com. And Derby Inc. Magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc.
Oh, yep.
This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby Podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, welcome to the Crash Course Demolition Derby Podcast. That is a hot headset. Holy cow. Blowing my ears out. Man, it's not like when we're live, we can't hear each other. Scream as loud as we can next to each other. Hey, so, fun week on deck. We're going to be getting out to the Chautauqua County Fairgrounds tomorrow, Broome County Fairgrounds Wednesday, Clarion County Fairgrounds in Pennsylvania Saturday, back to Dunkirk on Sunday. Going to see Imperials and a whole bunch of blue shirts, we hope. Make sure you guys get out there and support that. Chad Ellman being remembered at the annual fair over there in Dunkirk. I talked a little bit with Pat Osman and Todd Ellman, his brother Jim as well, from over at Ellman's Garage, and there's going to be an awful lot of blue shirts. So that's sort of their goal. They got some memorial programs set aside for Tuesday, and then some other stuff that they're going to do on Sunday as well. And I guarantee Sunday's feature, where they've got all those full welded up birds, it is going to be crazy out there. We were talking a little bit about the way that Chad Ellman used to drive and power shift, as he called it, which was one of the things that we saw Rick Engelhardt do so many different times. And of course, today being the anniversary, which was brought to my attention of his passing, today being July the 27th.
727.
727.
I thought of the same thing when I saw the things, and then somebody said, I actually am a fan on the Mopar page, and it said Happy 727 Day and had a picture of a transmission, and I'm like, boy, if that ain't some coincidence.
Right? I know. If only one of his kids had the 4th of September for birthday, right? Give him 904.
Yeah, there you go. Or the yeah, definitely. But yeah,
were you trying to make a 318 reference?
No,
okay.
Not at all.
I was going to say that would be March.
Yeah,
what you're looking for.
I get that.
March.
I have a kid born in March. Actually, March 19th. Thanks for sharing though.
So close.
19. So, but yeah, it's hard to believe it's been a year.
I know it has been. It's been a wild year. We've got Donnie Hartzell joining us here in studio. We've got Wayne Ellison here as well, sharing the couch with Ben. And then we already got a good look at Brian, of course, who working last weekend, going to be working again this weekend. You're going to miss a show down there in Clarion.
And then football starts Monday.
And then Monday is going to be a rough one. Getting back from all this is the busiest.
But this is the first one of these weekends you've had this summer. Usually you have these like every week of the summer.
I know. It was nice. I was working on video stuff all day today. My kids went to Sampson Park with my mom, and
nice.
There was nobody in the house, so it was quiet. Got some stuff done. I was up until.
Is Waterloo done yet?
I didn't tape it.
I didn't
tape that.
Are you gonna get my roof signed done at some point?
No, don't even start that. Don't even start. I'll bring you into the roof sign world a little bit later on after the show ends. That was we had a couple interesting experiences today. I was working on a roof sign last night when it crossed from midnight or from 11 o'clock into midnight, so officially crossing into the 27th of July, and I showed a proof of it to Todd Height. He goes, check that out. And the car number that it was for was 33. So it was kind of cool. Yeah, I didn't expect that. Kevin Seeley's waiting on that one to get a couple changes done to it. He'll be getting that one sent out. But yeah, we're going to be talking with Wayne a little bit about the Ontario County Fair, which he just won over the weekend, backing up his win at the Seneca County Fair. So a couple wins in just a matter of about 7-8 days, not too bad of a run. And then we'll be catching up with Ed Brewster here a little bit more at the bottom of the show. Before we do that, I just wanted to dial back the clock a little bit and take us back to early episode, like episode number 20 here, when we were comparing Imperials.
There you go. Real quick.
Imperials with 03s
with 03s.
Mike Brown and Ricky.
I don't know about that. I do have a 99 I got to build at some point, sitting in the yard. So I plan on building one of those.
It's already built and ran one.
Yeah, I did build one at one time. You want to know a funny story about an 03? Actually, probably going about 7 years ago, I bought an 03 And I took the cradle out of it, me and a buddy of mine, and man, we almost had a Cordoba K-frame in that thing. And, this was back way before any of this stuff turned on. And I've often wondered, if I had been able to get something to bolt in there or whatever, what would I be doing now? Would I be, running stuff just like Mike Brown and not,
Probably.
driving by Imperials and running these 03
Probably.
and newer Fords? Because like I said, that was like 6 years ago I bought that car.
Who's the kid that ran the 03 newer? The younger kid down in Morris.
We got Josh Townsend had one,
No.
and Ryan Endress.
This is a kid that brought it to Black Rock.
I think you're talking about
It's somebody's-
Souls.
It's somebody's nephew.
Souls, I think is his last name. I think.
Well, he ran the snot out of
Yeah,
that
I think
car.
that's
And
that's
it
the
was
one.
just stock. He had
Yeah.
the stock cradle in it and everything else, and everybody's like crying about that car. I'm like, dude, it's a stock. He doesn't have nothing to do with it.
And like I said, I have often wondered, what would I be doing if 6 years ago I had just stuck to that car for a little bit longer and seen what it would do.
You might be a Ford man now, right?
Well,
I probably would.
You should have just modified the back end of the K-frame so it fit in there.
And it was close. My steering box was the big issue. Getting room for a steering box, and I just gave it up. But.
But that's what Mike Brown did. I mean, he was running Mopars forever, and then one day decided to switch it up.
What actually did make you finally decide to try a Ford, Mike?
Honestly,
Yeah,
it just got to where the shockers was so high around here
right.
that I could buy the new style Fords cheap. But actually, I went from Mopars, 10 or 12 years that I built and ran them forever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to Suicides.
Oh,
That's for a few years.
yeah.
Got them figured out. And then I went to 74, 5, 6 Caddies.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, good choice.
Figured them out. And I just figured, hey, I got to have a different front end car. Everybody's trying to figure these out now. I've got to go to something different.
right.
But I ran them all, and as far as maneuverability, I would pick an 03 and newer. As long as the steering's set up right,
Mhm.
they're just like anything else. They're a cookie cutter that can spin a circle in no time
Right,
and be right back on the back end of that Imperial.
right.
So, Rick, at what point in your career did you start transitioning into the Luminas and Monte Carlos?
Well,
A bad point in his life.
I made that transition last year. The very first W body I ever ran last year at the Great New York State Fair, which is stock, and I did fairly well in it. And then I took it up to Brookfield for a heat car, and for a 6-cylinder, they're a good car.
People were booing you because of the car you were driving.
That's
that
all
time.
right.
It wasn't how you were driving. It's the car you were driving.
They're gonna boo me for one reason or another. It doesn't really matter.
He pulled it and
So there it is, a little bit of a touch of Rick Engelhardt reflecting back on where he would be if he had elected to go the route with the Fords instead of sticking with the Imperials and the Mopars and stuff. Can you imagine what that car would have been if he got that Cordova K-frame stuff in front of that, right?
Dude,
That would've been
it
cool.
was So
machine.
close,
Oh,
like
yeah.
an inch
Yeah.
from it working, and
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen guys put Imperial K-frames in them now, so.
well, he actually was close to bolting one up pretty much, not
Yeah.
all of them in there, but
Yeah. Would have been wild to see Rick in one of those.
well, you seen him in a Ford. He ran a team show in a Ford.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't there for
Down in
that.
Morris, he ran a team show with Brett and he was in a Ford, and
A built one?
I can just would have pictured him in an 03 and newer. He would have.
He'd have been bad when he got out in the front end was still straight.
Yeah.
He'd have been pissed right off.
Chad Ellman drove one of those before, one of those new style Fords, and just like you said, he got out of that thing and he was so mad. He tried to kill this in the worst way, and to the point where he even took a big swing at a car and missed it and hit a brick wall adjacent to the track, and just put it in reverse, like shaking his head. That's one of the things that both of these guys that we're talking about here with in Rick and Chad, they didn't particularly go out of their way to overbuild their cars. They didn't necessarily even like the direction that the sport was headed, and that's one of the things that sort of is interesting about how much everything has exploded and everything. That would love to get their opinion again. Is at where the sport is. I mean, Chad talked at length about how he's done with this. And one of the last things that I said to him, conversations that I had with him, he was sitting on the cowl of a Ford or of a car at the Lake Erie Rumble, and he just shook his head and he goes, "I'm done with this stuff. You're never going to see me do this again." He was right, because after that he didn't. I didn't get a chance to see him run again. But sure enough, it was one of those things where Pat Osmus sort of starting to trend down that road too. That's just these heavy builds, they just aren't anything that's what they want to do. But they would build their cars the way that they wanted to build them. And they would go out and they would junk them in one night. And if there was something left, it's like, oh, now they get fix-it plates. Now what's going to happen,
Yeah, that was the last time I saw Rick. We actually were at Whitney Point, and we sat together and watched the feature last year. And Rick was telling me he was getting ready to start building his first caddy. He was couldn't take Imperials to Walton anymore, but he was going to build a caddy. And he was looking forward to that, but it was hush-hush. He didn't want anybody to know. And that was Wednesday or Thursday. And then the next Sunday.
That was Wednesday.
That was Wednesday.
It was Wednesday night, and then the following Sunday.
Rick passed away.
Yep.
But, I mean, like I said, King's Old School been right up Rick's. I mean, Rick would have showed up there with a Grand Fury and been just driving it. That was.
Put the bumper up over the airplane.
He'd have been happy. There'd been some upset people there because once Rick got a running lane, he would have been junking stuff. Yeah, that Derby was right up Rick's alley, and it's again we're talking about the Derby stuff, but the thing that I really enjoyed too was whenever you seen Rick with his kids on Facebook or seen Rick with his kids in person, the smile he had on his face, you know what I mean, and that was something I'll never forget. He always had such a big smile when he's with his boys, and unfortunately those boys don't have their dad anymore, so that sucks more than us not being able to see him for Derby.
Sure,
so,
definitely. I mean,
Absolutely.
Chad had that same reputation at Ellman's garage. All the neighborhood kids whenever they had flat tires on their bikes. There's 18 people on this like two halves of a block with an access road in between them, and this small shop, Ellman's garage over in Dunkirk, and there's 18 people crawling all over that place, working on 100 customer cars and everything, and Chad would stop anytime he needed to go fix a tire, help the kids with their bikes. That was always really cool of him over there, and they're right down the road from the fire department, where pretty much everybody that was at that shop was stationed at one point or another as a volunteer, and it was really cool. We had the chance. My boy and I were making some deliveries out there in Dunkirk here last week, and we had a chance to stop and see everybody at Ellman's when they weren't in full-on Derby mode. They were actually just working on cars that were not intended to be destroyed. And it was busy there. But every person stopped, said hi and stuff. And Chad would go out on his deliveries and grab his Snickers bars and Mountain Dews, and he'd be set for the day. And just like you said, there's another group of people that they don't have their dad anymore. Just like I mean, we're remiss to not be talking about Mike Smith, because Broome County Fair's here too.
Yep.
And he's won plenty of times down there for sure. Mike. There was some talk that there was going to be some interesting tributes being done in and around Pennsylvania this week, but I guess maybe those events aren't happening now, which would have been equally entertaining to watch with the way that Mike would drive his Avalons. I mean, he had those compact cars figured out, and this is overall for the Northeast. This is a very, very tough week, as a whole. Guy who had it a little bit easier would be Wayne Ellison, who was just sitting back and counting literally tens of dollars after winning 2 county fairs.
Couple hundred.
But let's talk a little bit about Ontario County and how that whole thing played out for you. You hadn't even planned on going and taking a car there.
No, I held a local kid that was just trying to finish off his compact. And we pulled him there, and we're kind of just hanging out, and there wasn't a real big car count. And my brother insisted that he was going home to get my Seneca County car. And I'm just kind of shaking my head. I had worked all Friday regular shift, and I went on for overtime. I worked an overnight shift. And so I had just got up about 1:30. And I'm still, shaking the cobwebs off from, pulling an all-nighter and stuff like that, working. And he just kept insisting. And I didn't see him for about 5 minutes, and then he comes back over and says, "Ben said we got an hour and a half. I'm going to get it right now." So at that point, I was still a little flabbergasted, but he went and got it and brought it back. And, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. That's all I can say about that, really.
I mean, is that the case with both of your wins this week? Being
being
luckier than good.
I mean, honestly, Donnie's car caught on fire. If that didn't happen, who knows what would have happened. The wagon down there in Ontario County, that was a tough wagon. He had, a rear tire fall off his car. So, there was 2 roles that played in both of those matters that if them roles didn't happen, who knows what would have happened.
Right.
But you walked out with the big checks on both of them, so you got to be happy.
Yeah.
And you still have the heat car left.
Ontario County, it was a nice, it was okay. I was actually surprised that I brought home more from Seneca County than up there, but, the car count was low, so, it is what it is. He let us know at a time, so, and we knew what we were getting before we went out there.
So it's the same car. It's not even had anything done to it since Seneca County?
It was sitting in the hedgerow.
Yeah, he was the most underbuilt car up there in the V8 class.
My brother literally drove home and pulled it out of the weeds. Literally, it was.
Yeah, I love when you do that.
I posted a picture. I think it was Tuesday of that same week when I unloaded it and parked it next to my Penn Yan car, Yates County, and they were both just sitting in the weeds.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
He come through tech line and he goes, man, can I at least go take it over there and put some threaded rods through the core support and bolt my hood shut? And yeah, go ahead, Wayne. That's fine with me. You're talking about a car that has all the factory size body mount bolts in it. Actually has rubber spacers in the whole thing. It's compared to cars that were there that were sucked tight to the frame and 5/8 bolts and big washers and everything else. So Wayne says it was a little bit of luck, but he had to drive his ass off too to get to that point. It was that has some decent hitting drivers that usually go up there, and Hemlock Fair was the same weekend this year, and everybody's kind of in a medium somewhere, if they're gonna go or they're not gonna go. So it was decent. It was decent.
I think they ended up with like 10 or 12 when it was
Yeah.
all said and done.
Yeah.
And then what actually helped me out too was it was a one and done.
Yep.
If it wasn't that, then there was no telling. But the one and done helped out a lot too.
So which one's more meaningful to come away with a win at?
Honestly, the hometown.
Yeah.
And like I said, no disrespect to Donnie, but he's always on the top. Well, you've been placed second for what,
4
the
years.
last 12 years, so you're always,
But we'll give you that.
you're always right there. So it's a hometown fair, and he's always right there in the top 2. So obviously he knows what he's doing, and he's got his stuff together. So to beat someone like that, I guess it's a little more meaningful. You know what I mean? Not saying that the guy from Ontario County didn't, I don't even know. I don't even know where he runs or nothing like that. But not that he didn't have a tough car and he wasn't driving or something like that. But I just, I don't personally know him, so I don't know the background and stuff like that.
Were you laughing at all? Were you laughing at all when you found out that the guy who caught on fire, in turn giving you the win, was then named heavy hitter and took home the fireplace?
Was that before or after you jumped out of the car?
Oh, believe me.
Yeah, did you?
When I seen that fire, it wasn't a header wrap. That was like an explosion.
I'm sitting in my
And I'm
car,
trying to
so
back-
like, where's he going?
I'm trying to back up, and the guys are like, no, you got to stay there. I'm like, well, I'm getting the F out there.
That's funny.
So at that point, man, just got to keep your fingers crossed that you don't get ended up getting whacked like Joe Stevens under red flag, man, when he got out of the car
No.
at Waterloo. Ended up to
fire hose.
Yeah, with the fire hose.
yeah.
I
He
don't remember
jumped
that.
out of the car.
He jumped out of his car and tried to get his car off of a bumper, and they ended up basically same as like Sterling Marlin trying to fix his fender at Waterloo, and the I don't remember the kid's first name, the Werner kid, the young Werner kid ended up getting the win, and then they ended up splitting it.
Oh, I was there. Yeah. They tied, and one took the money and one took the trophy,
Yeah.
and
That year he ran that 73 Impala.
that was a black eye on the dot of. Oh God.
Please don't get out of your car under the red flag, sir. I guess Wayne had it. Wayne had the fortune of it was a driver safety situation, so there wasn't any debate on that.
Actually, now that we mention it, the year Nick DeCastro won Waterloo, he stuffed somebody in the guardrail, in between like the guardrail and the concrete wall in front of the bandstand, and they ended up cutting the person out. And I got out of my car that night because I was sitting there and I'm like, dude, it's hot in
Yeah,
here.
you got out and walked around your car, checking it out.
Yeah, I walked around, checked the track out, talked to everybody,
But they
got
just
back
thought
in,
it was-
continued derbying. But I forgot about that. I got to walk down that night.
I still think that the best got out of your car story is Pat Osmond's from over in Dunkirk when he was hung up, and the guy that he was hung up on had got out of his car, and he had a screwdriver or a sheetrock knife in his pocket, got out during a red flag and flattened the two tires of the car that he was hung up on, and it sunk the car, and he backed off.
I thought you were going to talk about Pat Osmond at Bash for Cash when he won the raffle car, made half a hit, and it stalled, and he proceeded to crawl out onto the hood and start messing with stuff under the hood.
Yeah.
As the derby's going on, and those guys were driving by him at 40 mile an hour. They were hitting in that feature. And then Pat got that thing going and proceeded to decide to pick on one of the brawns, and it didn't go so good for him.
I talked to him. He goes, we cut what we could save out of it, and the rest of it went to the scrapyard. It wasn't even worth bringing home. There was nothing left of that thing. He ended up getting out of that car when it was done because the all thread that was at one point situated near the rear axle was touching his helmet.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, you don't want to pick on the bronze unless you have a really well-built car. And
it was a well-built car.
Not to that level.
Not to the bronze level.
Not to the bronze level, it wasn't. No, that was bad.
It don't matter what level. When the boys get a hair up their ass to junk you,
you're getting junked.
No matter whatever you're
That's
in.
exactly where I was going with it. It was a well-built car, but they had numbers and determination.
Yeah, that was wild.
We had a pretty good time hanging out with the Sciopa clans again, who came away with yet another win.
Yeah, I see Steve's ahead of the leaderboard by 27 points.
Yep.
Which he was. Now that I don't believe that has been. Oh, right, because they would have had that.
I think they got it updated late.
It's all updated today.
He was up 21 going into that show, and he didn't get through tech inspection on the first try because he had his 6 4x4 fix-it plates.
Yeah,
he had quartered all of them into 1x1 fix-it plates and put them all over the car.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Right? Stay whole. I bet it does now, though.
I like that idea.
There's a revision in there now.
Always gray.
No, the gray area.
Gray area.
That's awesome.
Toby didn't find it to be gray whatsoever.
Toby didn't like that idea, huh?
I didn't see the humor in that. I'm sure he didn't. Because he keeps telling them every show they show up, when are you just going to bring a car that's not way out in left field?
It is funny to watch Toby inspect. That's a good time.
Like I said, the degree of difficulty on a car is judged by how many times he adjusts his golfing hat.
That is true, because Ben and I were standing there at Keystone. He goes, watch this. He goes, watch Toby. Toby's standing there, and he adjusts his hat, kind of shakes his head, walks a little bit farther, adjusts his hat again. He's like, going to be a hard inspection. They just started laughing.
I counted like 9 times on one car.
That's not good. You don't want that.
Laughing.
Yeah, it was that was a good show. There wasn't many cars for you guys. But the hitting was intense as always. I watched. We were having a family movie night, and you sent me the text that said, "All right, we're back on now," and I'm like, "Okay." So I clicked in and I watched the feature, and that was definitely intense. It was Todd and Steve were battling early, which I was kind of surprised to see, and there was some pretty good shots.
We had somebody message Louis Gorman, who watches all the shows. He was inquiring to see if we were still going to try and attack Clarion this weekend. Absolutely. The full plan of going and doing everything again this weekend. We're going to be live streaming that as well because he was a little concerned. But then we had some other friendly asshole who thought it was, I don't know if it was a joke or what, but I'm going to make it very clear right now that I don't quit and I don't give up. So if your little friendly message to me through Facebook, when are you going to just give up and let the real guys take care of this stuff? Don't appreciate it. Not cool. Not really okay with it.
The funny thing is, though, is I looked today and there's been 1,000 views of that already. So
yeah, I know.
It must have went all right for
It did. I mean, it did. I mean, we got flagged on still what I feel is an absolute bullshit technicality. Yeah. I mean, it's you got to do some stair stepping to find the loophole of reason why we got shut down. After we got flags for the bleed over music in Tooele, they kind of started watching our live streams a little closer, and we didn't have a definitive plan on what was going on in terms of Chris Douche coming in to sing the national anthem. And the guy that was doing audio, he didn't know, so we just tried to do the right thing because we know every time we go live, we've got people all over the world. I mean, for lack of not to aggrandize, but service people all over the place
who
are watching the shows. So it's only right and proper, just like any other sporting event, that you play the national anthem. And since we didn't have a real game plan with it, I just pulled it up on the first national anthem that hit on my phone, and we played it. I even left the camera on myself inadvertently instead of cutting it over so you could at least see the track or something. So you could see me holding my phone right up to the microphone. Well, it turns out that file, somebody had copied and made their own video, labeled it a cover, and then monetized it through Facebook. And somehow they were able to match the thing up, and they shut the stream down. And as a result, we missed Peter Anke. Most of Peter Anke's run, where he ended up winning the compact show. But we were able to basically we that computer for a few minutes was like being at the 4077. There was some pretty serious surgery going on, but we got it back together, and everybody saw the duration of the show. And Todd Sayopa, congratulations to him.
Todd, good luck. Finally,
looks like he finally was able to enjoy a victory dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Called ahead and had it waiting for him when he got there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. Donnie got to go down there the first time you ever saw Jefferson County Fairgrounds.
That'd be neat to Donnie Derby down there, huh?
Oh yeah,
that'd be awesome.
that would be, especially the size of the track they gave him.
Oh yeah,
Man.
I tell you what, when they had the first Superstock show, I mean, they actually made the track a little bigger after that. But I mean, they were making junk in 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
All fresh cherry stuff was junk instantly.
You seen the way the stuff was built down there.
Oh, yeah.
And it got tore up. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Yeah, Keystone Nationals. I mean, there was 54 cars built like that, and most of them came out of there junk. I mean,
it didn't take 2 hours to do it.
No,
Not like normal.
no, they tore it up. It was wild.
And
Yeah, they were definitely built pretty good.
And we were talking about the show being like a mini Keystone Nationals. When you look at the field out there, the 10 cars that were there, and I feel terrible for David Day. I mean, that guy cannot catch a break having his coil
because
burn up.
that Ribby, that would have been a nasty car out there.
Yeah.
It looked nasty.
Because he had bad luck at Keystone Nationals, and that was a pretty fresh car to come out with.
Oh yeah, you ain't kidding.
And he would have ruined somebody's day.
Yeah.
Corey
It looked
Roman,
tough,
he ended up getting hooked on somebody for a while in the future, and then what ended up taking him out? Did he break another?
I think
arm?
it just came over so far. He could. That track was typically dry, but it wasn't hard packed the way that it was before. So it was a loose dry. I mean, you can see that.
Had they had the tractor pulls or something that week, or
they
they
had
disced
tractor
it up
pulls
pretty
there.
good, too.
They had tractor pulls there, but they do it on the access road before the
Oh,
fire.
really?
Yeah. There's two different types of clay there. Where those tires are is basically the boundary. There's the pit clay, and then there's the pulling clay, and they've got a specially designed clay track for the pulling guys.
okay, I didn't
That they
realize
don't that they don't use it for anything else. Once they're done using it, they let it harden up and seal over.
Well, it looked like they worked the track up.
Yeah, they
of
did.
the-
They had
dissed it pretty
like
good.
a crumbler or something that was out there, and it loosened it up a lot.
Yeah.
Like
See,
a
Mark should run his big vibratory roller, paving roller up there.
yeah.
Mark
Mark
was down for him, you
Yeah.
know.
Mark wasn't there. It was at all. Like he wasn't there at all.
I wonder if he's not a big fan of watching derbies. When we were at Bash for Cash the first year we went out and hung out with those guys, he qualified through the heat, but his Rivy it got tore up, and he was like, "Man, I don't know if I can even stay and watch that." And I'm like, I understand. I mean, to have a spot like that, and he ended up leaving early that day. He was pretty upset, but yeah, I think he's one of those guys that just isn't. If he can't be running,
You
he's
don't want to watch because you jump up and down and you get the itch. You're yelling at people and you're not in a car.
yeah
You know, it's
tough. Makes it tough.
Chapman was driving real good too.
Davey
Chapman
with
was
his
doing real
Ford.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looked good.
He was giving it.
That looked tough.
I don't think
Yeah.
there's much left.
Oh no, no! I tell you what, when Todd hit him the last time when they hit headlight to headlight, that bent both those cars dramatically. That was true. That was a hard hit right there.
So Steve is now up by 27. Mad Mike DeFreesia still in the mix, but I tell you, this weekend is going to be a major fluctuation of the point standings because Corey Roman has one of the most outstanding truck teams, along with one of the most outstanding trucks that you're going to see in action in Clarion. So
I
let's
forgot
say
about
so let's just say that he gets his points for passing inspection, he gets his bonus points for passing on the first try, and he wins his heat. There's 20 points there. So right now, just by winning his heat, without even counting feature points, he makes 35 points. Right there. And his odds are really good for the feature. And Steve Sayopa is not running this weekend.
Yeah, that's what Steve said.
And you can only declare one class. So we're going to have to see how this whole thing plays out once we get to the reckoning at Stoneboro the final encounter at Stoneboro, because if this truly is two different shows, can some of these guys that are running super stocks and running limited weld score points Friday and Saturday? Gonna be watching that one pretty close.
Well, you would think. I mean, if it's two different shows, you should be able to collect points both nights. I would say.
If it's a 2-day show, do you get to collect points? Because we had 2 divisions run. We haven't had the limited welds. Oh no, we did. Keystone National. We had limited welds and in the super stocks. You couldn't score points in both divisions there. So,
but it's 2 standalone shows, 2 different days.
If it is,
technicality.
Now it's a matter of.
I say you get points both days. Sorry, Bo. That's my humble opinion.
There's too many technicalities in racing. That's like racing points.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Every last word of it. You should have heard some of the debate that was raging behind us. Which we still don't have an answer to, and I don't think there's a simple answer to it. But will David Day, since he didn't participate, does he get his inspection points?
I would say yes, because he was there.
He didn't even drive on the track.
Nope.
But he was still there.
So
just like when they have a series race,
if you're
and
in the
they
pits,
still run Saturday nights, you still get, or you run your Saturday night show instead of going to the series race, you get. Everybody gets 5 points, whatever like show up points are.
Okay, if that was the case, then I would just underbuild a car so I'd make it through inspection every time.
Now that right there is a topic that we came across. I ran into John Dambaugh and Serena Brandt, and then I saw Tiffany Hahn in the pits too with Klinger. She didn't have a car, and Serena Brandt didn't have a car, and John still had a little bit of a Cadillac left, which he's saving for another show. But I told him, I said, take the car that you ran in the super stocks, pull it down. Enter it. You're going to get through inspection on the first try because you're going to be underbuilt out of your mind. Back off the line, hit one car, and shut it off. And you're going to bank some serious points. Yeah, you're probably right. Would have been a good move. Got to points race it, right, Ben? Got to points race it.
But I got a name for that, and I won't say it.
Yeah, I know the name.
I won't say it because I got a name, an exact name for that.
That's funny.
Yes, points racing, I assume is what you're...
Far from.
But, yeah. So, Wayne, are you done for the year? You got more shows?
Yeah, the State Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was initially going to end up moving to Florida in March, and so I kind of sold off, a lot of the stuff that I had, and actually just about everything, and then I kind of started acquiring. I'm like, I'm not going to get in, too far. I just plan on running Waterloo, and then before you know it, we built 4 or 5 cars in 2 months, between me and my brothers and cousin and my father, and we were out there until 11 o'clock every night, after work and stuff like that. So definitely takes a toll. We didn't do nothing all last week. That's why weren't even like I said, we just was going to go watch and hang out and just kind of do, and went there and the car count was low, and it was like my brother just kept nagging, and it's just they call it fishing because all they got to do is just start pushing me, and before they know it, it's like, all right, where's it going? And it is what it is. But
that's funny.
So I gave him $100 for going to get the car and bringing it back.
Nice. That's toll money. Can't beat that.
Can't go wrong there. In an hour and a half from Canandaigua Speedway, Canandaigua Motorsports Park to Geneva?
Over by Big Oak. Yep.
By Big Oak,
right around the corner from Big Oak.
And back.
Oh, that's cool. That's easy.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's
I was thinking
a lot of time.
For some reason, I was thinking that he was coming all the way over to his house in town in Waterloo.
No, the car is out to my old man's house, like I. So it wasn't horrible, but I mean, we didn't. The gas there was no gas in it. It was like under a quarter tank. The battery had been ran all day Saturday and on and off the trailer and through inspection. We ran electric fan this year, trying it out and stuff like that. And so that was one of my main concerns, was hoping the battery was going to last. And we still had the electric fan in there, but I tell you, that 6-pack that I got, it's a biggest marine battery you can buy, 6-pack, and I wouldn't be afraid to run that 3-4 demos on that. I mean,
wow,
it's still going. I mean, no problem.
It's awesome.
Electric fan and all. So I mean, and it's not that draws a lot, but I mean it draws enough.
Yeah.
Sure.
So,
You ever have to worry about an electric fan in yours?
Yeah, that's what it runs, electric fan.
Yeah.
I have this bad habit of putting the mechanical ones right through the radiator. Funny shit happens like that sometimes.
I've got a lot of radiators with a hole about that big in them.
Did you see the picture of the aluminum radiator that Jill and Chris Lancaster posted.
Yeah.
Slightly used.
I don't even think Ben could have welded that one. That was bad.
that was
bad. That was a hole like this big in the middle of that. That was not good.
It's fine.
Also, we're mentioning good runs. Our buddy Sam Bandel got second out to
Yes, he did.
Camus. Finished second to his buddy Joe or Nick. I'm sorry, Nick. Sent me a picture of his their winnings, the winning check and the second place check and a bunch of cash, and said Utah style. So he said now it's a good vacation. He's running out there again this weekend. So good luck to our buddy Sam. Hopefully he has another good run. But actually, the car he took was the one that he built for Josh for winter.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
I saw it on the trailer.
And he had a little better luck with it than Josh did.
Yes.
He
also had some wiring work to do to get it ready.
Oh, really?
Because when Josh's throttle hung open, he was afraid of
Josh
cooking the
ripped
motor.
everything out.
He took everything out.
Yeah.
By force and will. Just everything. There's just wire. It looks like there was a wire chipper inside there.
Yeah.
Just chunks flying out the back.
Yeah. He actually sent me some pictures of
Josh's eyes were the size of dinner plates because all the wires were out. There's nothing to pull, and it was still running. And he hit the toggle switch, and it came into pieces.
Sam actually sent me some pictures Saturday of some cars out there, and sent me a picture of TJ's car, TJ McPhee, and a few other guys. And man, there were some nice small cars out there. Holy cow!
Yeah,
just sweet looking stuff.
And they're all inside out now.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, said I think the other TJ and his crew went to Heber, and I think they finished top 3 there.
Yeah.
So did some house cleaning. Back at it again this weekend.
Nice. What we gotta do is we gotta take a quick break. We'll run through some of that stuff, and then we will come back here in a moment and talk a little bit with Ed Brewster about some of the developments for an upcoming event that they have down there at JMW Motorsports Park with the RC demo stuff. So take a look at this. We will be right back.
The Crash Course would like to thank DerbyParts.com, an industry leader in aftermarket parts. DerbyParts.com has become the go-to source for builders looking to make one stop for all their derby needs. A proud partner of the Reckless Warrior Series and a title sponsor at the Bash for Cash, DerbyParts.com offers products from the top manufacturers in the industry, including fellow Reckless Warriors partners Brian Muir and Big Rock Derby products, and performance aftermarket standouts MSD, Edelbrock, Schonfeld, and Samson tires. Inventory includes cradles, Ultra Bell sliders, flex plates, pedal kits, mounts, fans, radiators, adapters, tanks, and much, much more. DerbyParts.com truly offers one-stop shopping for builders ready to perform at any level. Go online and check them out. From bumper to bumper, you can find it on DerbyParts.com. Are you good enough to be recognized as a reckless warrior? Bo Lockwood Motorsports' 2015 Demolition Derby schedule will now be combined into the Reckless Warrior Tour, designed to give rewards and recognition to drivers that support Bo Lockwood Motorsports. To the Keystone Nationals, which has moved to the Westmoreland County Fairgrounds June 27th. The Jefferson County Fair Championships follows, with the limited road cars back in the limelight as they chase a $3,000 payday in Brookville, with the Reckoning 2 following on August 1st at the Clarion County Fairgrounds in Clarion, Pennsylvania. The series finishes with the final encounter September 4th and 5th at the Stoneborough County Fair. In all, there is more than $75,000 in prize money available among the 6 shows and features some of the largest purses in the Keystone State. Drivers will earn points based on their feature appearances and heat and feature finishes, with bonuses awarded for passing inspection and getting a stick on the first try. The season will end with a points banquet where Bo Lockwood Motorsports will crown the deadliest warrior. That driver will then have his selection of one of the 10 prizes from the Reckless Warrior partners. For more details on the 2015 Reckless Warrior Tour, visit their Facebook page and check out blmotorsports.net. Ultimate Derby's Blizzard Bash is back this fall. The hallmark of the Kansas Expo Center's Derby schedule in Topeka, Kansas has been expanded to 4 days this coming November. The event will include something for every fan within Demolition Derby. Inspection opens November 11th with the heat draw party in the Vendors Arena. Action starts November the 12th at 7 p.m. with the National Team Bracket and the Qualifying Team Bracket opening rounds. Action returns Friday, November the 13th with National Bracket and Team Bracket Round 2. The 80s Mod Heats and the 80s Leaf classes are also on the card. Saturday's card includes the 1,000 to win RC Derby planned for 1 o'clock in the afternoon at the vendors area right in the Ski Inc. Pavilion. That's before the full-size cars take the track at 6 o'clock with B features for both the team brackets, the 80s Consi, the stock 1-and-dones for Old Iron, the 80s and the compacts, the Power Wheels Youth Division, and Pro Mods are also on Saturday's card. Championship Sunday
rolls off at noon with modified compacts and old iron leading the charge. Then trucks, the 80s feature, and the qualifying bracket feature leading to crowning the national championship and the team finale. All the action is available on pay-per-view and is presented in part by Speedway Motors, O'Reilly Auto Parts, in addition to DerbyTees.com, Near It Sliders, Ski Inc., Chambliss Welding, and Ultimate Derby. Don't forget, Ultimate Derby has Capital Carnage right around the corner, April 22nd to 24th, a $30,000 to win event is set for that last weekend of April, right back at the Expo Center in Topeka, Kansas. For more information, visit www.blizzardbash.com or www.ultimatederby.com.
Demo Derby Masters offers a wide array of stock derby parts and accessories that have all been derby tested. Demo Derby Masters also offers custom fabrication, meaning your homespun garage idea can become a finely produced reality. Their team of engineers and Demo Derby drivers have designed, manufactured, and derby tested all parts to ensure the quality and durability, even though they're in pristine condition. DemoDerbyMasters.com also carries a full line of helmets, fire suits, gloves, and belts, and Kaiser's own branded oils and fluids. Parts are manufactured, housed, and shipped out of their 140,000 square foot facility located in Coopersville, Michigan. Order online at DemoDerbyMasters.com or contact them by phone at 800-472-2464 or email info@DemoDerbyMasters.com.
5, 4, 3.
Just like that.
We're back.
It's almost like we planned it. So I don't know. Did you catch this stuff going on? We had to mention there at Chambliss Welding. Did you catch what they're doing? Chambliss Welding's up to?
I have not.
They broke some news today on Facebook.
Oh yes, they did.
They got the engine cradle trading program. They're making their own cradles now, and you can have any non-homemade, bent, beat up, torn up, whatever engine cradle. You can send it to them, and they've got a program where it's going to be worth something on trade-in towards a new Chambliss Welding cradle.
Nice.
Kind of neat. They got a phone number out there.
Got an ADA book for cradles now.
That's awesome.
Right?
That's awesome.
After the big episode come out with the Ski Inc. cradle highlighted, now they're gonna do trade-ins.
It doesn't have to be a Chambliss one. Any non-homemade, all you have to do is call, see what the thing is worth. They got a number out there, 618-316-4303.
What do they classify homemade?
Non-homemade.
Because I could make one.
That would be just as good as anything out there.
There's guys that make them that you wouldn't know the difference.
Oh yeah, case in point.
That's their discretion.
I'm getting one of them 1-inch Ski Inc. ones. I think I can get
What
that
the
for
hell do you
inspection.
need that for?
Inspection. Gotta get in for Waterloo, so it won't bend.
Long as it's just a lower cradle.
That caddy won't bend next year.
Well, they'll have something else to complain about other than 3 patches on your doors.
It was pre-bet too, because Donnie straightened the frame for me, so it was pre-bet. Don't forget that part.
Yeah.
And I build the cars for him.
Yeah, and he built my cars for me.
That's beside the point. We knew that, but the cheating is the part that's an issue.
You know what I love? And I said this to Brett last week, talked to him after the fact. I said, I don't know if anybody's ever seen my cars coming out of Waterloo, but generally they look like bananas. They're usually junk. So if I'm cheating, I have got to be doing something wrong because it ain't helping me do anything. I guess the door patches aren't quite strong enough to hold it together.
Well, thicker ones.
They're going to have to do something different next year.
But you come out to Dunkirk, we'll show you about door patches.
I think I just got to build a car, just instead of inspect, just run.
I heard you were.
That's what I heard.
I heard you don't want to deal with the BS no more. So you're going to build cars. And
Ben's going to build a car, and he has ditched the Iron Outlaw nickname, and he's now going with the name Silencer.
Boy, Ben not inspecting that could open.
I gotta get released first, though. I can't do anything.
You want to know how I know about that Silencer name?
Came up with that.
No, I had to design the decals for the side of it.
Oh, cool.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, hopefully.
How's my new shirt's coming?
Which ones?
You might live your life in the gray area, but I live mine behind one of these with a Walden helmet.
I'll work on it as fast as I can. But that's a great point.
Cool.
You brought up there about the Casayas having this giant indoor building. We need to make some phone calls on this because we may have just found an area to have our indoor derbies over the winter.
You probably have it in the sandblasting room.
Oh yeah, that'd get you a lot of bite.
Yeah.
Running on the sand. their body shop where they do most of the body work is, I couldn't even tell you how big.
That's cool.
It's got to be, like I said, what's the big RV place down there in Bath? Camping World. Camping World. They work on a lot of their stuff in there.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and they pull like the huge motorhomes in there, and there's still all sorts of rooms. So
That'd be awesome.
yeah, so
You ain't gonna get no dirt in there.
no, there's gonna be no dirt.
I know. I was pretty confident of that. I got to make a quick mention of the Wadena Grand Slam, which is coming up here soon. I mean, it is right around the corner. We've been so close to so many shows that we're losing track of the ones that are barreling down on us so fast. It's back at the Wadena County Fairgrounds in Wadena on the 15th of August. Got a facelift at this point. $2,000 going to the winning compact team. So far, they've got 30 compact teams registered.
30 teams.
Yeah, nearly 30. They're closing up on 30.
Where's that at?
It's Wadena, Minnesota.
Oh.
They've also got outlaw full size, which is paying $1,200. They've got the full size and compact trucks, which are paying $1,000 and $800 respectively, and then they've got a bone stock compact one and done with $800 to win. 2 groups of power wheels, and I think they got this funny wheelbase rule, 105.9 inches or 109.5 inches.
Something where you
Wheelbase
can't run a certain
restrictions.
kind of
So
car.
yeah, so it gets you into some of the smaller stuff, which is a little bit more available, and the price hasn't gone through the roof on it yet. It's Wadena Grand Slam. We're going to be out there doing the DVD stuff. I think we're going to be catching up with Brandon Tyson out there too. Brandon and Sam are coming up for it. It's going to be a ton of fun.
Brandon shows this weekend.
Yeah, he's got his figure 8 race this week, and then he's got
The Derby's this weekend, right?
And then the Derby's coming up on Saturday.
I know Danny Ellert's been busted ass for, I don't know, somewhere 3-4 days straight last weekend. He was sending me pictures. They fired it up last night or the night before. Looks both the metric caddy looks pretty nasty. So hopefully that's some good luck.
Yep, he's looking to pick up his second win of the season.
Yes, he is.
Wouldn't
Yes,
be a bad
he is.
one to win. Hometown.
No, hometowns are always nice to win.
Worked out good for Wayne Ellison.
It did work out good for Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Wayne has
A little
got
bit
to
of luck.
be.
A little bit of luck. That's all.
Wayne is the most energetic guest we've ever had.
Absolutely.
And it's like that. That's one of the reasons. I really believe that's one of the reasons why you do so well at running a patient pace. You don't get excited.
Yeah, I try to stay. I mean, for the most part, once in a while, if I get cracked pretty good, it kind of wakes me up a little bit. But sometimes I'm more just laid back, and sometimes it's good for me, and sometimes it's bad. When I was down at Penn Yan, there was a couple of guys down there, and and they got after me pretty good. And
yeah, there's a couple of guys at Penn Yan that like to do shit like that.
and I should have, would have, could have stepped it up a little more, but I guess the right way to say it is I let them get inside my head.
Right.
I was trying to worry about what they were doing instead of just doing my own thing, and
Mow your own lawn.
and I'm not, and it is what it is. But I mean, they got me, and they accomplished what they came to do. So
We got Ed Brewster joining us on the phone from GMW Motorsports Park and Cow Demo RC. You guys got an event coming up this weekend, one of your qualifiers for the East Coast Championship, scheduled here at the end of August. Ed?
Yes, sir, we do, Chris.
There we go.
Sorry, I didn't mean to leave you hanging there for a minute. Actually, this coming Saturday, we're running a double to qualify 2 more in for that East Coast Championship. And right now, the purse is looking really good, and we expect it to increase a little more as we're going to put a percentage of each entry into the purse that day.
Excellent. Good decision. We got the Blizzard Bash rules are out, and didn't take long for some of the guys in the Midwest, of course, to get a hold of them, of course, and start ripping them to pieces, of course. After we spent all this time, Ed, man, we went over those things and thought we were in pretty good shape, and it turns out we weren't even close. Now there's guys in the Midwest that are trying to count how many rivets you're allowed to put in the car as a whole, how many batteries you're allowed to run, how large the battery can be. And there was one other interesting question, because basically the way the rules read, it's you got to be somewhere in the 7 to 11 pound range, because some of these guys, the different chapters for Cow RC that are in Iowa and Wisconsin and the 2 in Ohio and Virginia, they've modified their own region's weight rules. So we tried to leave it somewhere in that 7 to 11 range. Well, the guys from Iowa, which run a little bit on the lighter side, said, "You said you can't add any weight. Why can't I add lead to the bottom of my car? If a guy that has an 11-pound car, it's going to make it's harder for me to roll him over. So I should be able to be just as heavy as him."
Absolutely.
So now I'm looking for a nice wall, and I'm going to slam my head into it a few times and go back to the drawing board on this.
Yeah.
I mean, Ed, We've opened up Pandora's
It's
box,
all
my
gonna
friend.
be good, Chris. At the East Coast Championship here, we just told them, kind of bring what you've got because, I mentioned before, it's a brand new baby. We're trying to learn how to diaper it. So the more we see what they're building, the better it's going to be for 16 for the rules. And we're really excited about just, everybody grouping together and, putting your hands on actually what they built.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. I got a wagon that I'm saving, and then I got another wagon on the way that I got to put pink and black on.
Pink and black.
Josh says he's coming with a wagon this time.
Is he?
He hadn't qualified yet either. He's got to do something Saturday, or he's just going to end up out of the game and have to buy in.
Dig deep, Josh. If you don't make it, you got to be part of it. But then all these guys in turn are gonna come out to the Ski Inc. Pavilion over in the vendors area, outside of the actual track at Blizzard Bash, where all the expo center is, and they're going to have a Blizzard Bash clay track built in the ski area. It's $1,000 to win. The total purse is up to $2,700. There were some guys in the Midwest that wanted to run aluminum axles, and Ed and I have talked about this a lot of times, and we decided go ahead and let them do it. And now there's a $50 bonus for the highest finishing guy with stock plastic axles. We figured that was the best way to.
Those titanium axles you told me you were looking for, or wasn't it supposed to be on there?
That wasn't supposed to be on there.
Sorry, my
Thanks.
bad.
No sweat. No big deal.
Sorry about it.
It's like running Mosier's overstock.
Yeah, it's exactly it. Yep. But I figured $50.
Maybe you can help me spread this word. Fatback Racing is going to put up $50 at the Blizzard Bash for the best body that's representing the DMU Derby.
All right, not
That's
too
awesome.
bad. So that's
Very
cool.
cool.
It's we had a provision for best paint. Are you talking about best built car? Or are you talking best looking, best appearing thing?
The best representing the DMU Derby. So, if they come up with the DMU colors,
Oh,
they got
okay.
the DMU stickers on it, they stand a chance to get that $50 for the Fatback.
Not bad.
That's awesome.
Now does Narrett or not Narrett, but Brodzinski and Slonowski each have cars?
Oh, God, I hope not.
Because I'm sure they're machining parts right now.
Sweet tap dancing Christ, please no. But they're bringing in some dirt from, they've got the runoff at the edge of the arena. They're bringing that in. They're going to pack that down. So it's going to be the 20 by 20 box, and then the track is going to be the track walls are going to be recessed down into the dirt. It's not going to be like 2 feet thick or anything. It's just going to be a little bit of clay and hard pack, the same way the Blizzard Bash track is. And then the walls are going to be recessed and then kind of backfilled over. So it's like running a Blizzard Bash. So the walls are going to be an element where you can punt guys right out of the park.
Are you going to go on 3?
That's not supposed to be on there either, Brian.
Oh, sorry. The first time you ran, you got schooled by what, 8-year-old?
7-year-old. Keith Rourke's daughter.
The sad thing is, Chris will be out there, and then Mike Brown will be across the track with an RC car.
Not scared.
With a 3-speed. With a 3-speed.
All I got to do is wait for him to drive hard enough to knock the wheels off his RC car.
No, if you remember, he was the one car on that team that didn't happen to him.
Bash.
He was the one guy that didn't lose a wheel at Blizzard Bash.
He never lost a wheel at Blizzard Bash.
It's in the ad.
Not his.
Not his.
That wasn't his car?
No.
Chad and CJ lost them.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
that's
wasn't-
really, really bad news now.
Yeah.
Because you got those guys coming too. We heard word that there's going to be some cars that are sporting the Ski Inc. and the Near It colors, the black and gray.
That's cool.
And then
Pretty cool.
I've got my one wagon right now is got army green from the fenders back and black from the fenders forward. And it's
Pete
got
Hanson's Rivy body's almost done.
You're making me nervous, man.
I know the stickers and stuff you make, you bound to be a shoe-in for that Fatback prize
I don't
out
know
there
about
at the Blizzard Bash.
I gotta make sure that thing's decked out in guard colors for the one, and then the Siopo colors for the other.
Very cool.
I got a 76X roof sign for the one wagon, and I gotta get the replica of the 501 roof sign for the other one.
There'll be some solid wheels.
Oh yeah.
Solid wheels?
Solid
No. See, this is not good. This is.
I'm just
turning into-
bringing in a thought process.
Yeah, he's
the Midwest.
You
thought
wanted
Oh, I
somebody
know
to
exactly
pick
what
your
it
nose
is.
apart. Here you go.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I've learned.
What if somebody builds an El Camino body? Are they
Do it.
illegal?
Do it. Ed had one. Ed had a truck.
Cool.
Ed had a truck at Bash for Cash before, I believe, probably Keith's daughter got a hold of it, and that was the end of that thing. He had electrical trouble with his truck in Ohio too.
Yeah. I'm bringing this same truck to Topeka, though. I'm gonna run it one more time. I gotta try,
We
do good at the bash, so I gotta redeem myself somehow.
we drove to Bash for Cash, and we got there Friday and we did our shows and get back, and I'm a little on the tired side, and Chris decides he has to rebuild and repaint his car Friday night. So he was working on that until I threatened his life, and then he put it down, and he was good after that. But he was detailing this and painting that, and he was working on it. He meant business, man. He was ready to go.
I wanted to look good when I got beat.
Hey, if you can't go fast, look good. It's just
That's
like
right.
racing, man.
That's it. That's the key.
If you can't go fast, look good.
I felt bad because I had it in my head that I was leaving early. When they did the countdown, I was leaving early.
Mm-hmm.
And poor Josh was behind me. Josh was not yet qualified, by the way, as Ed was alluding to. He was behind me, and I popped him pretty good. He looked up at me like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's New York style."
New York style, man. This is how we go.
If you can't beat him, leave early.
Nose out, wide open. I'm gonna try that somewhere next year.
Yeah?
A little before the bell, intimidation's always good.
But you can't do that at Blizzard Bash because by their rules that'll get you tossed.
Yes.
So you won't be able to leave early.
You got to be careful about it. You got to time it right.
Got to time it really right.
So just as soon as they say "ooh," go. Don't even let them finish the word one.
Nope. On the gas.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I gotta catch up with you at the end of August here, and I gotta get all my stuff to you so you can put it in the truck and drag it out there because I really don't want to put that stuff in the airplane too.
God no, we haven't a hard enough time getting our equipment out there.
No problem, man. Maybe I can. You still going to Woodstock, Virginia?
Yeah, that's the plan. Yep, we're gonna be down there. We're gonna be down there, and then we'll be down there again in October.
Bring it on with you then if you can, and I'll have it and bring it.
Perfect. We can do that. Well, how's the turnout been down there, by the way? You've had a couple of these shows now. I know Keith Rourke and the HTRC guys out in Ohio, they're drawing about 20, 25 every time they have one.
That's awesome.
Man, the HT guys, they are really happening out there. We are just, man, ecstatic that they're one of our chapters. They just really are bringing the game. We've learned a lot from them. A whole lot of what they are doing right now, we're going to see in 2016 rules. We just think they just got it down.
Perfect. They're drawing well, and you guys still getting pretty good attendance as well?
We're doing fair. We've had little ups and downs. I'm expecting this Saturday, though, we're going to have a pretty good field. I imagine we should probably see a good 12 to 14 or so.
Not bad.
Anyway, everybody's really chewing at the bit around here trying to get some bodies together to run in this one. And probably we're going to have a few people that had never run one before in this one.
I just got a text message from Chris Polly, Pork Chop. He says Pete's got an RC car. That's good. Some good news. Stuff you want to hear.
Yeah, with a ribby body.
Yeah, that. Can you imagine? Imagine that.
But your front will be stout.
Brad Witt's helping us a lot too. Brad Witt is one of the Iowa chapters with his group. He's helping out a lot. He's pretty close with the Fords, and he's sort of been acting as liaison with. They say, "Can we do this?" And he comes and asks me. And
now, are you gonna have a ride for me that I can rent, or what's the deal?
I told you I got a car in the garage waiting for you.
I know,
it is
but
done and ready.
I just we're
It
gonna
is
talk
in the
about
box.
the rental fee.
Okay.
Just show up and I want to be like Josh Decker and just show up and drive, man. That's
Well,
what I want to do.
I'm bringing two cars.
You gonna pay as much as he pays?
No. No.
Actually, you know what?
Chris is like, oh yeah, run it. There you go. Yeah.
No, I got it. I have an idea for you. The one is going to be, the pink, white, and black, like Todd always has on his wagon. You'll have an opportunity to drive a Syopa wagon without nearly the risk.
Yeah.
There's your
If
window
you
of
got a chance to
opportunity.
drive the real thing, I'll kick you in the balls if you don't.
Oh, Todd told me Saturday night that he'd like to put me in his car, and I said that would be awesome. But then I sat back and thought to myself, I've kind of not been known to be real easy on stuff, so I would hate to go out there and break something.
You ain't gonna break nothing. You've never driven anything that hard.
No, never. God, no. No, I know. That's what I'm afraid of. But
What happens when you like it?
You're gonna spoil them.
yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Well, I was accused of having a Baldwin after Waterloo, so.
No,
Really?
You're accused of having a $5,000 motor.
Oh, I thought it was Baldwin.
And
My
I said
mistake.
it was just a Magnum motor converted, and I was called a liar.
Not for nothing, but I just got a different truck, and that's got a Magnum in it. So me being a Hemi, so me being a normal demo guy, get on the internet and start looking, and you can get a Hemi
convert that.
intake for a carburetor. And then it's got the coil packs like the LS1 does. So I think we could run a Hemi in a Derby car.
So we're pulling it out.
You're the scrap man. You got to find one with a Hemi in it. We'll go from there.
Oh man!
If not 3 years, get 3 years out of it. I'll be happy. Then we'll move on to the next one.
Well, Ed, man, I wish you the best of luck here this weekend. It's always good catching up with you. We'll be catching up with you soon. Look forward to seeing you in Virginia here at the end of August.
All right. Really appreciate you having me on the show, Chris. Y'all take care, guys.
No sweat, man. We'll see you later.
Good one.
There goes Ed Brewster with Cal RC and Demu Derby down in Midlothian, Virginia.
Now, Ed was the one that had been to a Derby since the 70s, right? And then came the Bash for Cash.
Yes, that was Ed.
How's that for culture shock?
Yep. He thought it was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, I've never seen anything like this. You are correct.
Yeah.
You have not seen anything like this.
Got to see the Joker's wire class. That was the highlight. That was the one to watch.
What he was most shocked by was the I just got a picture of a car. There's a picture of Josh's car. His 75 Gran Torino wagon, and it looks awesome. Looks real good. He did a nice job with it. But he was fascinated by the 1-inch ski cradle.
Oh, yeah.
They put that in the cars for what? For whatever you want to do.
Quote unquote a protector.
Well, I like the newest addition to the ski protector that's got the fan protector also. That goes around the fan. That's an inch thick.
I know some guys that aren't going to run that because their motors are getting hot.
Really? Not letting the air come through must be.
I don't know. It might just be personal preference. They don't like to tell where the temperature's going, but I can't believe Brodzinski and them guys didn't research that.
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
Everything else, but some guys it's one extra thing.
In reality, though, you would think. I mean, it has basically its own shroud. I mean, you see guys shrouding up their motors to get the air through the radiator. That's weird.
Like I said before, the next, gas line protectors is going to be next, and
absolutely. I'd run one of those. Schedule 40 pipe from the back seat
I'm
to the
trying
motor.
to get price. I'm going to think because I can burn 1.5 inches at work. Actually, I can burn up to 4 inch. Well, like 1.5 inches, but 1.5 inches mid plate, 1.5 inches front plate, 1 inch between.
I'd like to have
I'm trying to think.
I'd like to have a mid plate for a Cadillac, about 1.5 inches.
But I
guarantee you that wouldn't bend anymore there.
I guarantee you, I build a lower cradle, there'll be another rule made at Seneca County.
No, you got to build 2 of them. So
it'll work for.
Why would that be?
I build 3. I'll try one out for you.
Just a lower cradle.
That's
nothing going up the top of the motor above
They
the
always
motor.
say the more they show up with the same way, the more they're going to allow it.
Yeah.
True.
Especially if I'm not there.
Makes a good point.
Chris can inspect next year. He knows a lot about cars. You don't want to drive, you can be the inspector.
No, I don't. I've never at all pretended to know what I'm looking at.
But you know. I mean, you've been around the top stuff of the
Been around a long
for
time.
years. You would know.
I heard you guys might do something more like modified down there or something. 2 different classes or Seneca County, or that just was talked to.
It was brought up in the drivers'
It
meeting.
was brought up, but
Didn't we do this already? Didn't we?
We did.
Oh, I don't know. I heard about it. I wasn't there.
No, not this conversation, but this whole idea of let's run modifieds.
we
and-
tried it and we ran it for a few years, and then they abolished it because nobody was running it, and
Because Donnie Hartzell threatened to bring his Imperial back again.
Well, it's like they just call it modified as like the older stuff, or like basically what total destruction allows.
it's kind of like that rules.
So it's not as far fetched as
It's
it used to
not
be. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Well, the other rules weren't that. I mean, they weren't that wild, really.
no, just is basically run what you brung and hope you
Yeah.
brought enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The first one was. I'll still
I
say.
remember you saying, didn't you work on it for like 3 years or something like that?
Ben built that. I had it in my garage for 3 years.
I built it, and I never forget when Donnie won. I was so glad. I was happy for Donnie. Donnie won. I went out to congratulate him, and all I hear yelling from the stands, "Hey, Host, you suck! You didn't win that one. Hartzell won. Blah blah blah." And I turned around and go ask him who built the car.
Yeah, Ben did.
Now he turns around, yeah, Ben built it, and the guy's just like, really? Is it right
I will say, to this day, the first modified heat they had at Waterloo
Oh, that was
one of the best derbies
That
I've
was
ever seen in
crazy.
my life.
guys are getting out of their cars punch drunk.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think straight for 3 days.
We had like 25 or something like that.
Yeah,
That was a lot.
My cage got bent. None of my cages have ever bent. And Rob Kopp hit me like 3/4 track in the passenger doors, and my head bounced off the roof. My leg bounced off the door. My other knee bounced off the shifter. And Kyle come over. Are you all right? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm all right. Let's go.
Cross-eyed.
Let's go.
for.
You know, that's
Yeah.
like Harry and I hit headlight to headlight. He bounced his throat off the steering
Yeah,
wheel.
took a throat shot. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
that
was
was bad.
nasty. We had
Was
a
Taylor was in it?
I had a 1 ton. We put a 1
Matt
ton.
Robson had that was Matt Robson's white 60.
No, that
No.
was Matt Robson's small car night car he brought back and ran in the modified show.
Yeah.
No, was that the year?
That
That was
Imperial
the
subframe.
Yeah.
it was
in New
the
York.
white
That's what I had
Newport
too.
or
The same
Chrysler.
thing. I had the
Yeah.
66 Newport with Imperial subframe.
Well, there was, 10 or 12, and it was, but I mean,
had-
300 foot of just,
I had a 1 ton leaf spring pack in that boxcar Imperial that I helped Frank build, and they're like, "You're never gonna break Mike Rice. You're never gonna break that leaf spring pack." It broke.
I'll
That's
tell you
when
what.
he got freight trained by
Yeah.
Brian Wise and Robson behind him right into the wall and
Yeah.
blew the springs right out of the back of it.
Yeah. That was, I remember standing up on the back of somebody's rollback. They're like, how come you're not with that running? And I'm like, because my balls ain't big enough. Them guys are nuts out there.
Mike, I took care of Mike Adams ever coming back to Seneca County.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, I will never, ever come back there again. Because 2 years before that,
You
he
jumped
came
that
down
Imperial.
with his buddy. And, of course, Nick got black flagged in the heat for driving halfway through that wagon side. So I was like, Nick's like, take my car out. I said, all right, I'll re-register it. Well, you can't do that no more. That's a rule now. But I took it, went out and won a feature with it. And Mike's like, you guys are fucking crazy down there. I'm never coming down there. And that's...
I think he came back one more time after that. He had a blue SN Blazer for a junk run.
Yeah, and he got out of that.
Yeah.
He got out of that like the second year they had the junk run.
Yeah.
So I was out there in a Jeep with no floors in it.
I honestly think that they should do something down there with
Turn back the clock rules.
no, just like the rules we got now, for the exception of any tire you want. Slider shaft's really not a big deal, but basically same rules as Kings of Old School, and basically pay out the ass for it. Take Kings of Old School purse, and that's what we're gonna pay.
Yeah.
And I would love to see all, myself, you, Taylor, Cop Boys, Jeff Fairweather, all the even
Old
Kyle.
school guys.
Put Kyle back into a car. Who gives a shit?
Kyle mentioned coming, going down.
Mark Carr
And
might even come
Mark
back.
Carr, get all the old school guys and have some of these younger guys sit on the sidelines and go,
Watch.
this is what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing is like when we went to Utah, we were talking, and they were talking about how they 9 cars on the track is a lot to them, and I'm like, what? Like, yeah, you get 9, 10 cars, you can't move out here. And I was like, we started with, I said the first heat I won at Waterloo had 22 cars in it. They took the last car running and best of show. And if you had best of show, you didn't have anything to take of the feature.
That year I flipped Scotty Smith, I went with my box car, I went to the Conci, and the Conci had 34 cars in it.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
That was back. That
Yeah.
was back when it was a lot
That
of
was
fun.
2006.
A lot of cars. You had to earn it really big time back
Oh,
then.
yeah.
2000.
I'm not saying you ain't got to earn it now, but
5.
Yeah.
back then it was really hard to earn it.
See, I'm a fan of the distributor protectors, though, on top of all like the other stuff. But I know you guys, you
Well,
like
we've
like
won-
your Mopars, so the distributors are usually in the front, so it's not a big deal to
Well,
you
no,
guys. So.
small blocks in
Small
the back.
blocks
Spots in the black.
Yeah.
Well, but we've won. I've won tons of derbies and ran all them years with no distributor protector.
Yeah.
Just cut the hole in the firewall.
Yeah.
Brett's the same way. How
Well,
many
that was-
derbies have Brett and all them guys have won? They just cut the hole in the firewall.
How much did you pay for the cars?
Oh, I mean that's back $1,200 shells.
No, for the cars themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing that for
$1,200
years.
shells.
Oh, okay.
Back.
Yeah.
That's back 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
New
So
York
that's-
City trips. And
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
So I mean, I just think I just personally think, I mean, that their hometown, they need to open up their wallets That's the only way they're going to get drivers back.
I'll be honest with you though. I know last year. I don't know what you got this year for him, but I know Brett got either 11 or 1200 last year.
I got 1100. I'll be honest. And
I think that's what he got last year. I wasn't sure which one.
The Heat paid like 50 and 25.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get my 25. Did you get your 50?
Yeah.
And they gave
2 years in a row. I didn't get Heat money out of that place. Son of a bitch! I'm going around this tomorrow.
Don't get me wrong; they've improved the payout. But in order to get drivers
still not
back,
up.
In order to get drivers, I mean, like Brett and Josh did down there, that's the only way you're going to get drivers.
Yeah.
The thing that honestly has burnt me out about Waterloo is all the whining. You know,
get that anywhere.
It's been going around lately. I don't know what it is.
It's gotten so much. Maybe it's because it's the hometown, but like you go to any of the big shows we've been to, you don't hear it. But I mean, you go to a hometown fair and
it's there.
I didn't hear it. I went to King's Old School and nobody whined about. Well, I can't say that. One guy whined about me at King's Old School. But
there was.
Oh, you're just talking about whining about you.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about anybody else. I just don't want them whining about me.
It's just you notice it more there because it's more direct. It's direct.
I think if I go back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, send my car through inspection, and have somebody. I'm going to go over and like hang out at Chris's house and have somebody call me.
That's what I did with Butch. Did that last 2 years I ran. He took my car through inspection. I didn't have no issues.
Call me. Actually, I'll go hang out with my brother-in-law's. Call me when it's time to go on the track for the Heat. Call me if I make it to the feature.
And there's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of people that. You look at their car and they're coming through like, wait a minute, this is so-and-so's car. You know, at different derbies. Yeah. And a lot of people do that. They send their pick guy or they send somebody else through. They take their car through because it's everywhere. Yeah. You know, people have their niches everywhere. But like Wayne was saying, this year is just like...
It's bad.
Yeah, it's been bad.
I mean, it's like,
what the hell? I've been at 3 places and it's been
freaking
pretty
planets
bad all
aligned
3
or
places.
something and everybody's pissing and moaning about everything. But it goes in cycles.
I would just like to say that I would like for Ben not to inspect 1 year at Waterloo. And boy, could I take a cheated car down there. Then I could really give him something to bitch, and then I could retire.
Well, you take cheated ones down there now.
I know, but I could really take a cheated one down there that wouldn't bend.
It's so... Oh.
I'd run that thing all night and put the headlights back at it and go home.
I've always said...
Why take them out? Just put protectors on.
I've always said... They accused me for years of running cheated cars, and I always swore... One of these years, I'm actually deliberately going to do one. And then it's like, I think to myself, I better not because...
And it'll definitely stick with you.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just if I ever hurt somebody,
you feel bad.
I'm not in it to hurt people.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Down there, it's like flipping a light switch. It's like seeing red. And
sure was.
Without shit being loaded, I was junking people and real bad. And I can just imagine knowing that...
It ain't gonna bend.
It ain't gonna bend, you know.
Having it in the back of your mind, you say, I'm good to go. I'm just flattening it now.
You know,
03 with a bolt-in cradle.
Just no. It'd be like it'd be something like that. Not a bolt-in cradle.
Oh well.
Enough reminiscing.
I heard Smash Empire is gonna be the title sponsor next year down there.
I didn't hear that.
That's just what I heard.
Yep.
I did not come across that.
Smashed Empire.
You just did.
Presents
Smashed Empire. Smashed
2016.
That's a decal going on the car.
Smashed Empire's got to do some. Smashed Empire's got to do some pretty serious work in order to get to the point where we can do that because it's been a little tight.
Tight is good. Or would really be loosening on the edge out of control.
Waters are deep, sir. But we're getting there. Everything's turning around. It's getting a little bit better. Got a couple more roof signs that are going out, and looking forward to seeing a bunch of those guys tomorrow over in Dunkirk and the Blue Out, as it were, as they're trying to get all those Chad Ellman Memorial shirts out there in the grandstands. And you know, I don't want anybody to feel like anybody was left out. We've got Broome County Fair, which is going to be tough for Andy Vaughn and the Smith family with Mike Smith's accident here this spring and losing Mike and obviously 7/27 is that's the transmission, and that's the day that everybody remembers from last year that sort of set in motion a real tough stretch for a lot of people, and want to go down in the books as remembering him. And of course, we'd be remiss not to mention Ryan Clemo, who's another guy who even before that was, the circumstances around that still continue to be shrouded in mystery and the loss of Ryan Clemo. But we think of him and Mike and of course with Dunkirk tomorrow, Chad, and just being the anniversary of Rick Engelhardt's passing, we'll be thinking of him and his family. A bit of a somber episode, but I still think it was a good one. We'll be back here again on Saturday, FingerLakes1.tv. I promise we won't play YouTube. I know you're listening because you're Big Brother. I know you're listening. We won't be playing any national anthems or anything
They have you on
like
satellite
that. So,
right
oh
now.
yeah, they're watching. They're watching everything.
What happened?
Melanie Hanson.
I don't. I'm out on like cloud 9.
Why are you happy? I don't. What now? What?
No, I said what happened.
Oh, what happened?
Yeah, I'm in cloud 9. I
I-
no clue what's going on.
Okay. Did we already go through this at the
Yeah.
beginning of the
Oh,
show?
sorry.
We can.
Never mind. It's all right.
We'll tell you after.
All right.
Yeah,
Melanie said you can get a hold of her. She'll send you an MP3.
Yes, we're working on that. The problem is we'll go over it. We'll get it all set. We don't want. Hopefully, Clarion has.
Thanks for
somebody
listening, folks. See you next week.
Yes. Hopefully, Clarion has somebody to sing the national anthem, and all of it's a moot point. But that's going to do it for us this week.
Chris is gonna sing it.
I'm not going to sing it. I did that sort of one time at Black Rock where the PA wouldn't work. So I had the microphone and I was down on the infield and I had it with me because they were gonna sing the national anthem and it wouldn't play. The recording wouldn't work. So what we did is we got turn 1 to start and eventually we got the whole grandstands to sing it for us. So that was kind of cool.
Cool.
That was fun.
That was a Chris Marquardt idea. I can tell just by the way.
That was fix it as you go because you need to do something. It's going to do it for us. We'll see you again next week.
The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com. The 2015 Wadena Grand Slam. Bull Lockwood Motorsports and the 2015 Keystone Nationals. Scioppa Racing and ScioppaRacing.com. Ultimate Derby and Blizzard Bash 2015. Demo Derby Masters. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel at RecklessAbandonGear.com. And Derby Inc. Magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.